What's up everyone, the stats for Walrein's Community Day move Icicle Spear just got released, and it is a really good move, and it catapulted Walrein to the top of every single format it is available in. You're definitely gonna want to get one ready for every single league, so make sure you evolve a couple spheres on Community Day to get the moves Powder Snow and Icicle Spear on your Walrein. Before we start evolving though, let's take a look at what the best Walrein IVs would be, because in this case, you actually do not want the rank 1. But first, let's talk about Icicle Spear. It has the same stats as Weather Ball before it got nerfed. So yeah, it is very strong. It is so strong that we had the same move in the game before, but Niantic decided to nerf it. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. With the combination of Powder Snow, Icicle Spear, and Earthquake, which is a combination of typings that's only resisted by a single Pokemon, Surskit, Walrein becomes a force to be reckoned with in all leagues. In Great League, it can defeat top meta threats such as Azumarill, Stunfisk, Trevenant, Nidoqueen, and much more. It really only loses hard to fighting types, some grasses, and some electrics. In order to do its job properly though, it's gonna have to hit a couple break and bulk points. For those unaware of what break points are, it's basically an amount of attack your Pokemon has to hit in order to do a little more damage with the fast move versus a specific opponent. Bulk points, basically the same, but flipped. It's the amount of defense your Pokemon needs in order to take a little less damage from opposing fast moves. In Walrein's case, there's one very important breakpoint versus Azumarill. A low attack Walrein only does 2 damage per Powder Snow, but with a little attack, you can actually do 3 damage per Powder Snow. This seems like very little, but it's actually the difference between winning and losing that matchup versus a play rough Azumarill. In order to guarantee the breakpoint, even versus the highest defense Azumarill, you will need an attack set of 113.8. But you don't really need to go that high. An attack of 112.8 already hits the vast majority of Azumarill spreads. Even versus the rank 1, where you only really need an attack stat of 112.1. And that's also the minimum amount of attack I would recommend you to go on your Walrein. When it comes to bulk points, I advise a defense stat of at least 116.3. Because this allows you to take less damage from most Meganium, Galvantula, Hypno, and high-ranked Medicham, Shadow Machamp, Obstagoon, Tropius, and Talonflame. If possible, I'd suggest trying to get one with a defense stat close to 117 though, because that will secure these bulk points much more often. There are a bunch of spreads that hit both the attack breakpoint and the defensive breakpoint, and I'm not gonna list them all here, it'd be way too much. Just check for low attack, high defense, low HP spheres. Run these through the stat calculator, either on Stadium Gaming or on PvPoke. Both work. Check the attack and defense stat, and if they fit the thresholds, then you have a good one. If you really hate Galarian Stunfisk, you could even get a Walrein with a 117.6 defense stat, which I think there are only 2 spreads that get it, 0-14-0 and 0-14-1, and this sometimes reaches a bulk point versus Galarian Stunfisk, but really only versus the highest of the highest ranked Galarian Stunfisk. So not a spread, honestly, I think you should really make. You also miss the breakpoint most of the time, but if you happen to find a 0-14-0 Walrein or a 0-14-1, definitely one I would recommend you to keep, because sometimes it will hit a bulk point against Galarian Stunfisk. This is all for the regular Walrein, and I don't really want to go too deep into the Shadow one. I think most of you probably don't have as wide of a selection of Shadow Walrein to choose from anyway, but there is one bulk point I do want to point out on Shadow Walrein. It is for Charm matchups. Most of the Charmers, Wigglytuff, Alolan Ninetales mainly, have very similar attack, and if you hit defense of 115.6, you will reach a bulk point against these, making the matchup much more nice for Walrein. In the Ultra League, I couldn't find any important break or bulk points, so there you really just want to go with as high stat product as possible. discounts for both regular and Shadow Walrein. For Master League, of course, you're just gonna want a hundo. However, if you don't get your hands on a hundo, at least try to get one with 13 attack. Otherwise, you'll do 1 less damage versus both Giratina forms and Ization. And also at least 12 defense. Otherwise, you'll take more damage from Shadow Claw from Giratina Origin and more damage from Charm from Togekiss. Anyway, that was it for me. Hope this was useful, and I'll see you in the next one, everyone. Good luck with Community Day.